lyrics. So we shall see. All right, so let's take a look at this situation. It says, how tall are volunteers? So a student at the university, and by the way, I already had this lesson made before this weekend. So I didn't do it just because we beat Alabama. Okay, we don't do it very often, so we have to celebrate when we do. That's why we acted a fool and took the goalpost down one more time. That was just so dumb. I was like, y'all, let's act like we've been here. Okay. All right. So here we go. A student at the University of Tennessee wants to estimate the average height of all students who attend the school. They go to just the men's basketball team practice and record the height of each player on the team. All right. So on Friday, we talked about picking out the sample and the population. So let's just take a look. In this situation, what do you think is the sample that we're talking to? The men's basketball team. Okay. So the sample is the men's basketball team. Okay. And then what would be the population? What are we going to use that just basketball team to predict about? The entire school. Okay. So all students at UT. Okay. So the population and the sample. So the population, we want to make a prediction about everybody who goes to the University of Tennessee. The sample, we're going to use just the men's basketball team to do it. Okay. Now, this next question I think is important. Do you think this sample will give a reasonable, accurate estimate of the average height of all students at the school? Okay. You're very emphatic about that no, Cameron. Why do you say that?
They're typically on the higher side.
All right. So, yeah, I would agree. If the only people I measure are the men's basketball team, chances are they're not my height.
They're above average.
Yeah, they're above average height, I would assume, right? I think that's a good assumption. And so I agree that this would not be a good choice, okay? Because the basketball team would be above average height. What do you think that's going to do to my data? It's going to skew my data, okay? It is going to skew the data, okay? And it'll skew it towards the higher side, all right? It skews the data, all right? When we talk about predictions, that skewedness we refer to as bias, all right? So there's a new statistics word for you. We call it bias, all right? We picked something, we picked a group that's going to really skew my data. That's referred to as bias, because in statistical analysis, we want it to be as unbiased as possible. All right, so we want it to be as accurate as possible. Okay.
Are you good?
You all right?
Just slipped out of my chair.
Okay, all right. Making sure we don't need 911. It's a Monday. Okay, that would be exciting. Well, I mean, you know, more than normal. It'd be more exciting than statistics. Let's just put it that way. But I'd want you to be okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to start today looking at what causes bias, all right? What things skew our data. Obviously, if I pick the wrong group of people to analyze, it's going to mess up my data. So there are some specific things we're going to look at. So here are things today. We're going to talk about something referred to as convenience sampling, okay? So my guess is the person who's wanting to predict the height of the ball players probably works with the basketball team. It's an easy group, a convenient group to get access to for them. All right. If I wanted to make a prediction about all seniors, guess who I'm talking to? I'm talking to y'all, right? Because I see y'all, right? That's a convenient sample. Then we talk about something called voluntary response, all right? Where you don't have to respond, you can choose to respond, and how that's going to lead to bias. And then how random sampling can help us to avoid that skewedness from happening, okay? So keeping it random. So we're going to talk a little bit about Queen Bee today. All right, and there's a lot of stuff in your packet today, and I don't want you to freak out, all right? So I want you to open it up to the page that has all of her lyrics for Crazy in Love, all right? So it's this page, okay? It's got all of her lyrics, all right? And using whatever method you so desire, all right? It could be, okay? I want you to pick 5 words out of this song. They can repeat, doesn't matter. You land on it, all right? So you might go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one from each major paragraph or whatever. Okay? So take a second, pick 5 words. You can just circle them. And then write them down on the front of your sheet. We're going to do something with them. Okay? And I'm going to show you the ones that I picked. Okay, and this is where we're going to need our calculator here in just a second.
Y'all still pay crazy enough?
Okay, so just pick 5 words out of all the lyrics, doesn't matter which 5. Okay? And then the next thing I want you to do is to count the number of letters that are in each one of those words. Okay? So my first one, 3, 4, 5, I had 6. 3, 4, 7. Woo. Okay? So pick 5 words, doesn't matter which 5. Okay? And I need you to actually do it instead of just doing what I do, okay? So that we get some good data here, all right, to look at. Pick 5 words out of her lyrics and then write them down and then write down the number of letters in each word. Okay. Now, once you've picked your words and you've got all your number of letters, what I want you to do is to add those 5 numbers up, get an answer, and then divide by 5. Okay? So that's going to tell me the average number of letters or average length of the words. And so I would add mine up. So let's see. So 7, 14, 11, be 26. Divided by 5. 5.2. Oh, it's 25. I can't count. Right, so you want your average word length. So what I did is I took those 5 numbers and added them up, and then I divided it by 5. Okay, so take your 5 numbers, add them up, and divide it by 5. Okay, so it's going to give you my average word length. So what I'm going to do now is just come around and ask you, all right, what was your average number? All right, so that I can plot it. We're going to get this nice dot plot that we've done before. All right, so I'm going to put mine in first. And then we're going to copy it down. It's going to be our class data. So we just picked something, right? Add them all up and divide by 5. So that's why you might need your calculator. Okay. All right, what'd you get? All right, I got a 5.8. So I'm going to... All right. Okay. Did you pick yours yet, Kenneth? You still working? Okay. Dixie, which ones did you get, buddy? Baby?
5.2.
5.4.
3.2.
3.2.
4.
4. Okay. So they're spread out right now. Shay, what'd you get?
5.
5. Okay. 5.4. All right, Miss Kyla. 4.4. 4.8. So we're kind of guessing where these are. DeMonte, rise and shine, look alive. What'd you get, Layla?
4.2.
4.2. All right, Nalaya. 5.4. A lot of those. What you got? 6.2. You picked the big words. All right, what you got, sis? 5.4.
4.3.
I need you to participate. You'll be all right. All right, Jacob, what you got?
I got 3.2.
Oh, 3.2. You picked the little words. All right, James, what you got? 3.8. All right. 5.8. You got the big words too. Okay, Eli, what you got? 5.
3.8.
Okay. 3, exactly. 3. All right, Darlene, what you got? 6. All right, Brooklyn. 5.4. 5.8.
5.8.
I know. But a lot of those words repeat in there, so that's possible. What you got? 5. Chase. 4.6. Leah. 4.6. And Quinn. 5. All right, so jot that down. Let's look at it a little bit and talk about it. All right. How would you describe the shape of this distribution? I'd say it's a little bit skewed. Which way would you say it's skewed?
Right.
Oh, how do we describe the skew again? Do you remember? It's where the tail is, right? We'd call it skewed left. All right. What about its variability? That's a word we haven't talked about in a hot minute. Looks about like 2.8 to 6.2. Yeah, so 6.2 minus 2.8. So almost 4. We'll call it about 4. Okay. So that's a pretty large variability. Okay. The larger your variability is, the higher your bias. Okay. So we say that this one has high bias because of the variability. All right. It's got that large variability and it's skewed. Okay. So it has a large variability and it's skewed. Now, what we just did is referred to as a convenience sample. Yes, it was random, but was it convenient for me to just look at the lyrics and pick 5 words? Sure. Okay. This is what we refer to as a convenience sample. All right. We just jumped in there and picked 5 words and ended up with some bias. Okay. So a convenience sample is probably not the best way for me to collect data. Okay. It's going to lead me to some bias. Occasionally I might get lucky, you know. But for the most part, a convenience sample is going to lead us to some bias. All right. So what I want to do now is to show you how to do something that is completely random. Okay, so we're going to use technology to generate random numbers. Okay, so you're going to need your calculator here. All right, and this is kind of cool. Let's see if I remember how to do it. It's been a minute since I've done it. Okay. So if you look on the back of that lyric page, there's another one where every word as it appears is numbered. Okay. So these are the exact same lyrics. they've just numbered them. First word, second word, third word, all the way down to 297 words. Okay? So there are 297 words on that other page where we would read the lyrics like normal. Okay? So what we're going to do is, you notice they've assigned a number to every word. All right? The reason they did that is so that we could use technology to randomly pick 5 numbers out of all of those that are listed. Okay? So let me show you how to do it. And we're going to all get different numbers here, which is kind of cool. Pick your calculator up. Okay? I'm going to use my app here on my Duma Floppy, my iPad. Okay, let me clear what's there. Okay. And we're going to choose the math button. All right. The math button's right here underneath alpha. So we're going to go to math. Okay. And we're going to arrow over to where it says PRB, which is probability. Right. Probability. And we're going to choose that first one, RAND. Okay, that's what we refer to as a random number generator. All right, it's going to generate some numbers for me. So we're going to hit enter on RAND. Or did y'all say RANDINT?
No.
No, okay. So we're going to do rand. We're going to hit enter. Now, I have to give it some values. All right. The first number in my list is 1. So I'm going to put 1. All right. Then I need a comma, because I got to tell it how many total numbers. So above the 7 is the comma. Okay. So math, probability. You're not going to have to do this on a test. I just want it to generate some random numbers for us. Okay. So don't panic. All right. So math, probability. We're going to choose the first one. 1. The total number of words was 297. Okay. And then I'm going to do another comma, and I'm going to tell it how many I want. Okay, and how many numbers are we picking every time? 5. So we're going to put 5. Okay, and I hope this works. All right, if it does, we should all get 5 different numbers. Okay. Oh, it didn't like my format. Math, probability, the first one where it says random. Let me look at yours.
Oh, let me go back.
Because when we put the parentheses after.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't pick the right one. Hang on. Okay. JK, math, probability. So arrow over to probability. Now go down the list. Ah, there's the one I want. I want the one that says the INT after it. That's why. I was like, why is it not working? Okay. RANDINT. So we'll hit enter. Oh, there it is. Okay. And yours, does it say, yep, lower, upper, and then number. Okay, so the lowest number was 1. The upper number was 297, and I want 5. And then I think you hit enter on yours, or paste. And then hit enter. Okay, so what it's done is it's chosen your 5 words for you. Okay, mine chose the 223rd, the 157th, the 177th, the 262. That one, okay? So that's the word. So now choose those words. Go in and circle those words. And let's figure out what we got. Let me write mine down. Yeah, you're going to all get different numbers. Yeah, that's the point. All right, so 223, 156, 177, 262, 274. Okay, so I wrote my 5 numbers down. We probably all got 5 different numbers. Okay, and then what I want you to do is to go to that number on the numbered sheet and write down the number of letters for those words. Okay. So we did something that was totally random. Oh. Okay, and then average them just like you did before. Okay, so when I picked my 5 numbers that they gave me for my 5 words, All right, the first one had 2 letters, the second one had 2 letters, the third one had 4, the fourth one had 5, and the last one had 2. So it averaged out to 3. Okay.
We were supposed to use our minimum wage.
Yes, so 1 to 297, yep. Oh, you go over to math probability. And then go down to Rand again, number 5. Yep, now 1, 297. And then 5. And then paste. There. And then enter. Oh, you go. Yeah, delete that first part out. There you go. Okay, so those are your words you're gonna pick. Okay, so we're all gonna get different numbers here. That's fine. That's exactly what we want. Okay, because we want to talk about how the data changes. Okay, when we get back, I'll get your data from you.